Tonga is one of the smallest countries in terms of populations in the world. It's literally illegal to have any commerce in the city.
We're just standing watching it like we don't know what's going on.
Thank you very much.
Way too hot. All right, chilling here in Fiji in transit on the way to Tonga. Fiji Airways is really a great airline that services all the South Pacific countries, or at least the majority of them. So I'm probably going to be using that airline and this base on the journey throughout the region. But right now, I'm kind of getting to the frame of mind to head to Tonga. Really excited to see this incredible island. Heard so much about it, and looking forward to making it country 156. So let's do this. Woohoo! Landed! And the weather is amazing. Yes! Let's maximize our time here. Woo! All right, here we are in Tonga, country 156. Let's go see the South Pacific Island and see what it has on offer. So you can tell I was super excited to get to Tonga and finally enjoy some good weather, since all I had experienced for the past week in the South Pacific was rain. Now, I arrived in Tonga on a Saturday, and if there's one thing I learned traveling in the region is just how much Sundays are considered sacrosanct, to the point that nearly everything is shut down. So I had to move fast if I want to get anything planned for the next day. So I'm taking a cab from the airport, and I'm sitting with Sione, who is going to explain quickly what happens on Sunday. So on Sunday, you guys wake up and do what?
Yeah, wake up and do the umu, going to the church.
Then you come back?
Yeah, come back, have a lunch.
With the family, huh?
Yeah, with the family.
How awesome. They make Sundays amazing. I am on a mission to try to find a car that I can rent, because all the rental places are closed now, and Sunday everything's closed in town. And I really want a car tomorrow so I can see the island, the main island. So I'm gonna basically try to solicit someone to give me their car and I'll pay them for it. This is going to be my attempt at trying to get a car, especially since it's Sunday and especially since most people are going to be chilling at home. So why not give me their car? So let's see if we can pull this off.
1 hour later.
Okay, two things hopefully resolved. One, those guys over there bumped into them and they literally had a car for me for a pretty damn good price. I'm hoping really it works out, please. And then I'm going to go ahead and get my hair cut right over there, because it's a little bushy right now. So we hit two birds with one stone. Meantime, before the sun goes down, let's go see some tourist stuff. During that first day in Tonga, I took advantage of the quiet and went around the capital, Nuku'alofa, to get better acquainted with the city and explore some of its history. So Tonga is officially known as the Kingdom of Tonga because kings have been ruling this island and nearby islands since the 1200s. Since the 1800s, this island was unified under a single kingdom, and that kingdom has existed till present day. In fact, it's the only island in the South Pacific that it still has a monarchy. Now in 2010, it changed from an absolute monarchy to a constitutional monarchy where they have a parliament, they share power. But behind me is where is the royal tomb, is where the kings are buried in the capital of the country. And they're still revered till present day as symbolic figures that oversee the well-being of the people. And this is where the current king resides. The king came to power in 2015 and he lives right behind me, right on the seafront. Now, Tonga is one of the smallest countries in terms of populations in the world, with 100,000 people, and 96% of that population is ethnic Tongans. However, there's a small number of Chinese who make up the merchant class, the shopkeepers and so forth. Just like this shop, they have them all over the city. And unfortunately, there were riots in 2006, and the Chinese merchants were targeted here in Tonga because of just bad blood between different groups. But it seems things have become a lot more peaceful, especially, I would assume, since the country went into becoming a constitutional monarchy with civil rights and democracy more prevalent than before.
Later.
All right, let's see what they're gonna do. This guy's gonna crush it. By nightfall, I was starving, but for those who know me, I like to eat healthy. And at night in the capital, there were not that many options. When I discovered what looked like a pop-up selling chicken on a grill, I was all over it. After eating, I then walked over to a bar that's supposedly known as probably the best bar in Tonga, and I'm glad they used the qualifier probably. it was an experience nonetheless.
The next day.
So this is one of the main busy thoroughfares here in the capital in Tonga, in Nuku'alofa. Basically, it's usually bump-in businesses and so forth. But on Sundays, it's literally illegal to have any commerce in the city. So no gas stations, no basically shops, supermarkets, restaurants, cafes, everything has to be closed. So it's eerie quiet here because everyone's at church, and then after that they'll be kicking it with their families, having what they call a umo, and then they basically break bread with their family and then just kind of relax. They don't do anything. It's the tradition here, and as I said, it's almost government enforced. So nobody messes with it. But we are going to go check out what a church experience is going to be like. So this is the Free Wesleyan Church. It's the majority denomination here in Tonga, and also the Church of the Royal Family. More focused on hymns and singing than any other church here, from what I understand. And you see they wear these kind of mats on their Sunday formal attire, and that also signifies a certain stature in the community and reverence and tradition, really, here in Tonga. But a really beautiful experience. Glad I was able to do it right here on a Sunday in Tonga.
Now, if you saw my Samoa vlog, you'd know I struggled to find a car. So I was desperate not to end up in the same situation in Tonga. I asked around and one person directed me to another until I met Hema, who not only offered me his car on Sunday since he wasn't using it, but at a heavily discounted price with no contract to sign. Can you imagine the trust? Now, I don't recommend you do things without a contract, and I say this as a lawyer, but what a travel hack when you're in a bind. You have to love his awkward laugh as he realizes the gravity of the situation.
All right, I found Hema, who's an awesome guy, who's literally lending me his car, taxi driver, but it's a Sunday, so it's a chill day for everyone, so I was able to take advantage of that, get his car, drive it around the island, hopefully, and bring it back in one piece for this guy later today. So let's go do this. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate the trust. All right, just started driving around, just got the car, starting in the capital and driving around Tonga Tapu, the main island here in Tonga. Just gonna maximize the day. There's a ton of things to see, and I want to, take advantage of the fact that it's a Sunday, so the roads are clear. There's not many people at the sites, and I think it's a good opportunity to see as much as I can on this day. So let's go have an adventure. Let's see what this island has on offer. So over here is where Captain Cook actually landed in Tonga and declared the islands to be the friendly islands, because the locals did not kill him. In fact, they invited him to the festival for the first fruits of the season, and therefore he declared it to be a lot more friendly than he had encountered in other islands.
I was told that one of the best things to experience on a Sunday in Tonga is a traditional umu, which is an underground oven pit that is used to bake large meals for big gatherings. Now, the best way to do it is at a local Tongan's home, but if that option is not available, then you can head to a local restaurant. And I was directed to Kache Retreat, which is on the eastern side of the main island. The owner, an artist by trade, built the retreat and boasts that his resort is the only 100% off-the-grid resort in Tonga Tapu, which is the main island. And he's right. This place was in the middle of nowhere. And even though it was super crowded and waiting at the buffet line took a long time, the backdrop was unreal and the service fantastic, as was the sheer variety of food available that day. After a hearty meal, I wanted to maximize the day to go around the whole island and explore some of its natural wonders. In planning the day, I actually put Chat GPT to the test to see how well it could provide me with an exciting hour-by-hour itinerary. I have to say, while it felt very general and lacked an authentic sense of uniqueness, it still gave me a great framework, which I then used to develop by talking to locals and researching both blogs and vlogs. Look, I think for travelers, this tool is definitely a good starting point for outlining any trip. I started the post-Umu journey with a stop at the Blowholes. Now, the ones I had just seen in Samoa in Savaii were mind-blowing. But honestly, these were super cool too, and the whole area felt prehistoric, almost Jurassic. I then stumbled on this awesome mini lagoon that had a reef with blowholes at a distance, so that each time a wave hit that natural rock barrier, it would erupt in sequence. I felt almost like a conductor of nature.
just then.
Through my research, I was told in Tonga, bats, also known as flying foxes, are considered good fortune and therefore sacred. In fact, they are deemed to be the property of the king, and so no one's allowed to hunt or harm them in any way. So there they are, thousands of bats on the island, and I wanted to find them. So I drilled down and asked around and found that there was a locale where you can find a roost of at least several hundred. I drove around for ages until, bam, on a tree right off the road, there they were. And I'm not gonna lie, even though these guys are technically harmless and considered cute, like foxes, they still freak me out. Just think vampires.
2 hours later.
I finally got to the last stop of the day, which was Hatafu Beach, considered to be one of the most beautiful beaches on the island. Now, I didn't know what to expect, but I have to say it was just blown out, and I didn't know why. I just kept seeing debris in the water, pieces of tiles, steel, glass, even walls. Only later did I realize that this beach had some of the nicest resorts in the whole of Tonga, but the submarine volcano that erupted in January 2022 destroyed everything there.
All right, back to where we started. Thankfully, it worked out. Car's in great shape. Whew! What a great way of seeing the entire island in one day. Okay, so we're about to have Ota Ika, which is really a staple of the South Pacific, but definitely here in Tonga, which again is more of the raw fish, coconut cream, and a little bit of citrus juice to give it a little bit of a zest and a kick. Excited to try it. Could use a little more spice. Maybe I'm used to the ceviche of Peru. It's good, but a little more of a spice would be even better.
The next morning.
Way too hot. So I love Friends Cafe right here in Nuku'alofa in the capital of Tonga. Amazing breakfast, just such a cool ambiance, great service, really like it. So if you're out here, check it out, really nice. Elvis here in one of the best cafes in Tonga, in Friends Cafe, and he's gonna tell you why you should come to Tonga. Why should you come to Tonga, Elvis?
We come to Tonga because we are beautiful and food and everything is Tonga is beautiful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Elvis.
Thank you.
All right, I'm about to jump on a boat, last minute trip to one of the islands off the coast. And what I really want to see is kind of like the damage that happened from the tsunami. We'll hear more about it. Let's go check it out.
On January 15th, 2022, the Tonga Hapai submarine volcano erupted to the north of the main island. It was the largest eruption ever recorded, hundreds of times more powerful than an atomic bomb. Its sound was heard 6,000 miles away in Alaska and had hurricane speed winds recorded at the edge of space. The waves that were unleashed were truly apocalyptic. So I decided to explore the nearby island of Pangaimotu, famous for an old shipwreck that had taken the brunt of one of the waves right after the eruption, to see it for myself. More importantly, I wanted to see how it really impacted the lives of people a year after the tragic incident.
You can just see, like, it just looks like no man's land out here, just destruction. Trees uprooted and ripped apart, homes exposed and destroyed, and it's taken a long time to rebuild it. But despite feeling like a sense of hopelessness because of the constant natural struggles, I think Tonga is one of the countries that's super vulnerable to climatic changes and the destruction brought by it. I think the people are strong. I mean, they really want to push through and rebuild and stand strong. And nature has a way of rebuilding itself too. It's really an incredible experience. I'm super glad I was able to find a boat to take me out here to see the guys who run the small little bar and resort on the island that was just completely decimated, and they're slowly building it back. So really happy I was able to see that for myself and feel a sense of, I guess, hope that they can rebuild it back again. Okay, here I'm with Andrew, who is one of the people that owns the island we were just on. I want to kind of get his opinion about what happened during that 2022 Tongan tsunami and explosion by the volcano.
During the tsunami, we had our friends and family over,
Yeah.
just for a swim, casual time, and out of nowhere, smoke started to build up to the far side, and then we're just standing watching it like we don't know what's going on. It's like brand new for us. After the bang, it scares us pretty bad. We have a few options: go by boat or go up to land. And my mom took the whole family and friends up to the land, and somehow we survived that. It wasn't a big tsunami, but we were lucky, but not for Tonga.
And you guys are trying to rebuild it back now?
We're barely trying. It's just, I don't know what's going on with Tonga. Everything's so expensive. Sandbags, timber, support. It's all, I don't know what's going on. It's crazy. But right now we just started this, bringing people over and bring their own food. We have no choice.
Right.
My dad disagreed. Can't drunk people over.
Right.
But my mom said, just do it anyway. Just make the money and just use that as a fund money.
After touring the island, I connected with a couple, one who was originally from Tonga, and together they pushed me to climb up and jump off the shipwreck. Now, anyone who knows me knows I hate jumping off heights, but I wanted to push past my fears and limits, so I just did it. But guess what? I accidentally deleted the footage off my GoPro, so I had to do it again. And as if things couldn't get any crazier, en route back to the ship, I almost bumped into a black and white sea snake, one of the most venomous in the world. Avoiding death, I slowly climbed back up again and
what an amazing experience to go out to that island, to meet those guys. Just an awesome, awesome day spent out there. And these poor guys are really struggling to kind of make it come together. I'll post the Instagram of the dude I just spoke with, Andrew. So if you guys ever come out to Tonga, definitely check them out. Really good people. It's an amazing island. It was given to them by the king as a leasehold for the duration of the life of the father. So definitely worth making the trip out here for it.
That said, the time I did spend in Tonga truly opened up my eyes to the country's natural beauty, its age-old traditions as the last kingdom in the South Pacific, and the deep-seated connection to faith. But in the process, I also met locals and saw why they indeed lived up to their namesake as the Friendly Islands. Their generosity, trust, pride, and the incredible resilience is why they were able to remain steadfast in the face of disaster. I am so grateful to have experienced all this to myself during the low season in this beautiful island chain. Malo.
I hope you enjoyed this tour of the beautiful islands of Tonga and saw how spiritual, how strong, and how friendly the people are, and how beautiful but destructive nature can be. If you like what you saw, make sure to subscribe by clicking over here. Thank you for watching. Stay curious. I look forward to seeing you on my next journey.